Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, and yes, we are here yet again another Wednesday to bring you a youthful vigor, the youthful vibe on Tobago Updates Television. This morning, it is a very good morning, just like any other morning on the Wednesdays. I'm ably joined by, sorry, I forgot. My name is Dwayne Nurse, your favorite youth host.
Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Tobago. Yes, viewers, my name is Kaylee Lewis, and as Dwayne said, it's the middle of the week, and we're here to give you that youthful vibe, spice up the week, and make sure that you are able to enjoy Thursday and Friday. We're also joined by...
Good morning, everyone. I am Natalia Nancis. Thank you, Dwayne and Kaylee. It's nice to be here with you all this morning on this very wet Wednesday, but still thankful for the type of Wednesday we are having nonetheless.
I wouldn't say wet. I would say more like moist.
When I left home this morning, there wasn't any kind of rain or anything like that. But we want to head straight into our news this morning, and news is sponsored by B-Mobile.
Thank you, Dwayne and Kaylee. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 15th November 2023, sponsored by B-Mobile. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine has pledged to provide the THA's buses to enhance the existing fleet for accommodating tours whenever a large cruise ship is in harbour. The issue of tour cancellations last Saturday was ventilated during last night's town hall meeting in Blackrock. It was highlighted that Tobago currently has only 20 privately owned buses that meet the requirements for the operating island tours. A request was made for the THA to consider permitting the use of its own fleet of buses to supplement the privately owned ones. Augustine has agreed to allow this as a short-term measure, while efforts are underway for a long-term solution and to establish an integrated public transportation system. A 21-year-old Lambu man, Cody Bailey, and a 20-year-old Dago Martin woman, Jamelia Pierre, face charges of larceny and housebreaking at the magistrate court at Scarborough. Bailey, accused of larceny, was remanded in custody until Friday for potential bail consideration. Pierre, charged with housebreaking and larceny, received $100,000 bail, with conditions to remain in Trinidad unless reporting to the Tobago court. The arrest followed the execution of a search warrant in Lambu and Upper Scarborough between November 1st and 2nd. Pierre is scheduled to reappear in court on December 5th. Lisa Agard has been immediately replaced as the CEO of TSTT, following a cyber attack and criticism of her handling of the situation. The board of directors announced the appointment of Mr. Kent Western as the acting CEO effective immediately. Mr. Western, with an MBA in Innovation and Entrepreneurship, brings extensive leadership experience in the telecommunications industry. He was previously TSTT's General Manager for Customer Experience and Marketing. And that concludes your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by B-Mobile.
Thank you, Natalia, for that wonderful read of the news. Before we give the viewers the rundown, we have to do our birthdays this morning.
Oh, yes.
First up, we want to say happy birthday to Mauricia Douglas from your husband, children, brother, and sister. Happy birthday going out to you from us here at Tobago Updates.
All right. And next we have my cousin, Keisha Walcott James. Happy birthday goes out to you from the Tobago Updates family. Who do we have next?
Last but not least, we have Zane Hislop from mommy, daddy, brother, sister, grandparents, cousins, aunties, and uncles. Happy birthday from your big family and us here at Tobago Updates.
All right. And yes, it's that time to give you guys the rundown for this morning. And this morning to discuss the importance of dental health, we have Dr. Dominique Baptiste from the Tobago Regional Health Authority. And then we continue that conversation with Kaylee Lewis. So we have two segments of that. And finally, we have the inaugural conference session hosted by the Tobago Mission of Seventh-day Adventist. And Mr. Devines and Miss Lewis will be on to discuss that. So that is your news. That is your rundown for this morning. We want to thank you guys for joining us. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Plymouth Blackrock Electoral District. It's your turn. The THA Executive Council is coming to meet with you as we continue our district town hall meeting series. We invite you to come out in your numbers at the Blackrock Multipurpose Facility on Tuesday, 14th November at 6:30 p.m. as the Executive Council members give updates on existing and upcoming projects and programs. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions. So join us from 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 14th November at the Blackrock Multipurpose Facility for the Executive Council's District Town Hall meeting. People of Plymouth, Blackrock, Patience Hill, Prospect, Corland, Wim, Marysill, Union, Mount Irvin, and Bethel. This meeting is for you. Remember, your voice matters.
You know, who would I ever believe, Jessica could take care of a child,
I know, right? I'm a kinship foster parent to my nephew Malik.
Papa, you remind me of my grandmother, you know, when she used to take care of my cousins.
If I didn't step in, I don't know where he would have ended up. Plus, I get support from Children's Authority, training, and counseling.
But Jessica, you not married?
That doesn't matter once you have a safe home and you're related to the child. You're good.
So did this give money to do this?
Yeah, they do give me some money.
So, Auntie, you can buy all my game for me?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Malik, but that money's to take care of you. Okay, smubble up is.
I will not try. Mommy, you can buy.
No.
Wait, I didn't even finish my sentence.
About Lamborghini, you could get lamb stew for lunch.
Auntie Jessica could only come when you come in, because all them does do is talk people business.
Malaka, I'm only going on the bed.
But Mommy, the boy don't even live here.
Yeah, go to your bunkers.
What? Bunkers? Where's that?
I think I'm getting pretty good at this.
Welcome to Limache Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays. My name is Dwayne Nurse and you're viewing us here live here for Scarborough. This is Tobago Updates Youth Wednesday on Wednesday. This morning we're going to take the discussion to dental hygiene and dental health. And to have that discussion this morning, we have none other than Dr. Dominique Baptiste, certainly no stranger here to us at Tobago Updates. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just here to have a conversation with Mr. Nurse about dental care, dental health, the services that we offer at the health centers across the RHA, and possibly any questions that you may have, that people may have asked you, questions that your family may have had, I can answer.
Certainly. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Tobago Regional Health Authority.
Okay. So I am a dentist with the RHA. Currently, I'm stationed at Scarborough Health Center. We provide services for predominantly children of all ages. So we have cleanings, we do our fillings, extractions where necessary, and all of these are for the children by appointment. For adults, all we would do for the adults are extractions in terms of a procedure. But we do perform examinations on them and identify and treat any issues that they present us with.
Understood. Dental hygiene, dental care. How would you define dental care?
Hmm. Dental care to me is any measures that we would take to maintain the health of your mouth. So not necessarily just the teeth. So
Right.
of course we have the oral hygiene with the brushing and the flossing, and of course it's important that you do go to the dentist 6 monthly for your checkups, yeah?
Right.
But there are also certain habits that we try to encourage the people to avoid to prevent any issues, yeah? So a major part that I just spoke about was going to the dentist. So we think that dentistry is all about getting your teeth clean, getting your fillings, possibly doing some extractions.
Yeah, but I think that is the scare, the latter part, which is the extractions. You know, because sometimes it's like going to the doctor. You go to the doctor just to do a basic checkup, and then I have this. I have that. Oh, you need to extract this teeth. Oh, you have to do a filling, and you know people have this phobia about pins in their mouths. So how do you deal with that, and how do you get people to understand that it's not just about the extractions? You're helping them to remove that fear, you know, so they feel comfortable.
So my advice has always been keep up with your regular visits. So extraction is usually our last resort.
Right.
Yeah. So there are many things that we can do before we get to that point. So that's why we stress that you continue, you go, and we identify issues before we get to that point. Yeah. So that's not what we're about. We actually don't like taking out people's teeth. We encourage people to keep their teeth all the time.
Right.
Because teeth are so important, not just to smile, not just to eat. It also maintains the structure of your face and it keeps you looking youthful.
Right.
Yeah. So you lose your teeth, the entire lower portion of your face, it collapses.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Clearly.
we see older people and we think that they look like that because they're old. But a lot of older people would have lost their teeth, and a lot of times it's because of a lack of education and they didn't know better and they didn't know how to preserve.
And while we're talking about education and preservation, how does one preserve their teeth, you know, till 75? Because, you know, it's around that age, you know, you see a lot of persons putting in the dentures and so on. What is a very good age to start to maintain your teeth so that you have that longevity?
I would say that the dental care should start from the very first tooth that a child would get at around 6 months old. So then the responsibility, it begins with your parents.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to take care of that child. And we think that you're not supposed to brush children's teeth. That's why we have those tiny little toothbrushes and we have to brush the teeth, and we have kids' toothpaste. And we could educate you on the appropriate amount to use for the age of the child. And you go on as children into adulthood, you maintain the oral hygiene. You come to us, we tell you exactly what you need to do. Yeah, we can give you very personalized information as to what you need to do based on how you present. Yeah, and then you maintain that you come to us.
Yes.
Every year, twice a year. Yeah, if you can.
Right.
Because I understand that may not be possible in every case, but as much as you can, you come to us for us to check, and we identify issues and follow the advice, and that's how we prevent those issues.
So, brushing the teeth seems to be the first and most important part or factor of ensuring proper hygiene. Then, then we have flossing as well. There has been a lot of tutorials about how one should brush their teeth. Is it still the same circular motion, up and down, side? Well, how do we properly brush with teeth?
I would prefer if you use the circular motions, like you're just gentle with it. So, you know, we like to say we're scrubbing with teeth. It's not a scrubbing thing.
Right.
Yeah, the plaque that we are, and food particles that we are supposed to brush off, they are actually quite soft. So we recommend a soft toothbrush, no hard or medium. Yes, we
I
love
just use hard toothbrush because it just feels so clean after.
Oh no.
But what does that do to the mouth?
So the hard and medium toothbrushes, over time it wears away at your enamel, and you need it, and you end up with tooth sensitivity after a couple of years. It's not you're not going to wake up in the morning and just have it suddenly. So after using these abrasive toothbrushes for a period of time, you lose enamel, you actually end up brushing away some of your gums and exposing the root of the tooth,
see.
which results in more sensitivity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What are some of the mouth diseases one would incur should dental hygiene not be maintained, and what are some of the signs we could look for when we just to indicate that we have these things and treatment?
So the first thing that you see if your dental hygiene is not where it should be is gingivitis. Yeah, so we start off there and you end up with bleeding gums. So that's something that we hear about every single day, and we tell people like you need to take care. So you end up with the bleeding gums, you may end up with pain in your gums, right? And you're also going to see a buildup happening around the teeth, particularly in the lower anterior area, down to the gingiva, down to the gums, yeah? So we see all of these things, and gingivitis left untreated develops into what we call periodontitis. And that's when the gum disease is no longer just the gums, it actually goes to the bone surrounding the teeth, and you lose that bone. You don't get it back, your teeth start to shake, and you could have an otherwise healthy tooth, no cavities or anything, and they come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's dreadful.
Oh yes, I've had a patient come to me with a tooth in their hand.
Oh, Lord.
It came out and they said, put it back, please. And I couldn't.
Wow.
So let's prevent these things. Let's take care of the teeth.
And as we are winding down with this segment of the this discussion this morning, bad breath. We know might be a plethora of reasons as to why persons might have bad breath. We have, I think, kidney disease is I think so, is one of those indicators.
Acid reflux even.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As it pertains to oral hygiene, what are some of the things to look out for to prevent bad breath? Because, bad breath is a ubiquitous, thing, concern for everyone.
Oh, yes, it is. So what you can do, again, follow the instructions. Make sure that you floss, make sure that you brush, yeah? Take your time, make sure that you're brushing every surface of every tooth. I tell my patients this all the time because we have a tendency to feel like we should only brush the front. We have to get down to the back, all the surfaces, and we have to make sure it's clean, and of course, brushing the tongue, taking your time.
One answer, one question. One answer, one question. Okay. How often should we floss?
I would say you should try to floss after every meal.
After every meal.
At least after every meal.
All right. Oh, I have a question here for you. Quite provocative. However, a viewer would like to know: can oral sex prevent or contribute to bad breath or bad hygiene, oral hygiene?
I wouldn't say that. As long as you take care of your teeth, like you make sure that you brush, floss, do well on your part, you should be okay. And provided that people are getting tested and making sure that, they're STD free, because you can get STDs in your mouth also.
Oh, yes. So thank you very much, Dr. Baptiste. Don't go anywhere. We'll go over to a break and we continue the discussion with Dr. Baptiste, with Kaylee Lewis. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
The buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And this morning, we're continuing our conversation with Dr. Dominique Batiste. Good morning again.
Good morning again, Ms. Lewis.
Okay, so we're discussing the dental health fair. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we will be having a dental health fair at the Gulf City Lowlands Mall on Friday, the 17th of November, as in tomorrow, Friday. It will be starting at 10 a.m. where the dental staff will be out and we'll be there to interact with the public, answer any necessary questions, educate the public on dental issues that we see, inform people on the services that we offer. And we had, I would say that we had a lot of results from interacting with the public because we have had a high influx of patients over the past year where we've been going to schools and everything, right? So for our dental health fair, we would also have, of course, the dental staff. We have a nutritionist there where they will be doing BMI calculations and they'll be testing cholesterol. You can get your blood pressure checked and your blood sugar tested by nurses also. We have games and activities and we have some attractive prizes. You know, we have some trivia questions and we're just out for a day of fun and interacting with people. We also had a competition. Yeah, we had a competition across schools in Tobago.
Well, that community interaction definitely proved to be successful since you would have had that influx of new patients. But tell us a little bit more about the in-school competitions that you all would have conducted.
So our competitions, we had a primary school calypso competition. We also had a speech band competition, and we had a spoken word competition, right? So I'm just here to announce some winners that we had. So our first place for the primary school calypso competition was Chevelle Barton of Lansformy Methodist, and she will be winning a Lenovo tab, a hamper containing activity books and art and craft supplies, and I guess dinner and a movie at Movie Town. And our second place, Miss Nia Gordon of Scarborough Methodist Primary School, will be winning a Lenovo tab. In the speech band, our first place school was Wim Anglican Primary School, and each of the participants will be receiving a gift basket containing activity books, art and craft supplies. And our second place, each of the participants would be receiving dinner and a movie at Movie Town in Tobago.
Wow, definitely attractive prizes. Is there more?
Yes, we have the secondary school spoken word competitions. So we have first place, and we have Jaleel Walker of Scarborough Secondary. And they will be winning a Lenovo tab and earbuds. So we do have some attractive prizes there, and congratulations to all our winners.
Okay. And at the health fair itself, would there be any competitions, or is it just mainly information and interactive?
We will have activities. I wouldn't say that we have competitions where people can compete against each other, but we have some games, puzzles, and on completion of these puzzles and the trivia questions, you will receive different prizes.
Okay, so we heard about the winners for the competition. Tell us a little bit more about the competition itself and, the format that it would have taken and that's...
So the competitions would have been based on our theme for the dental fair, which was educate to elevate, right? So they had to come up with a calypso, telling people about dental care and telling them what they need to do and the importance of it, or the speech bands. So we had the little children in their speech bands, and it was so cute to see all of them there with their I guess I could call it a sailor hat, and the colorful costumes and the spoken word, of course, which it was informative. Yeah. So these winners will be performing at the dental fair. So you can come and you can see them. You can get an idea of
great entertainment,
what they did. Yes.
And in terms of the participation, were there a lot of participants? Was it a struggle to get persons to participate, or were persons eager to be a part of the competition?
Well, it was a bit of a struggle to get people to participate, particularly high schools, so we know how that could be sometimes. I think it's a lot of work on the teachers, who I believe they already have a lot of responsibilities. So I don't know if it would have been them being overworked, or maybe the students didn't want to participate. I can't say the reasons. I'm not sure. But the struggle would have been to get high schools to participate, but we had primary schools.
Sure. Maybe that's something, we could work on. Probably take a different approach next year. Maybe, some persons probably just don't like spoken word.
Possibly.
Probably not really that good at it.
Like we could do something different that
probably
they
something
may be
different.
more interested in. Yeah.
Okay. And educate to elevate. Tell us about that theme. What was the motivation behind that?
The motivation for that theme was that we would see people would come to us with various issues. And when we tell them how it would have happened or how to prevent it, they say, I didn't know. I didn't know I had this option. So I said, okay, let's go out to the public, and we're going to educate them so now they can know and therefore make better decisions and prevent the issues.
Okay. And what can persons expect aside from, you spoke about the nutritionist and the dietitian, I believe you said?
Well, nutrition and
Right,
dietetics, and we have nurses there also.
Okay, so what else can persons expect at the dental fair?
We have our pamphlets, but we will be giving out. I think it was more so for us to interact with the public, I guess, to take ourselves out of the clinical setting, and people can see that we don't eat people, we don't be trying to harm people, you know, like we are humans just like you, and we are a friendly face behind the mask and whatever PPE we may have on. Like, it was more so to get people used to the idea of dentist as a regular person just like everybody else, you know, and the dental staff and the dental nurses, and of course we're just there to interact with people and just let them know, like, we are here to help. We open to your questions. We're here to give advice, no judgment. We just like you.
Because
No
we
need
know
to
that,
be afraid.
you know, dentists are one of those things that persons are generally kind of, you know, afraid of, especially the little children.
You'd be surprised the little children aren't that afraid of us.
Oh, the adults are more afraid?
Yeah.
Wow.
The children come and they are very excited oftentimes, and they hop in the chair and they're just like, so what are we doing today? And then an adult would come in and just like, I don't like dentists. Like, the first thing they say, they don't even say good morning. Just like, they just come and they sit, I don't like dentists.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, so you'd be surprised. The children quite open to it.
Right. And in terms of the demographic that you all are catering to, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so we see everybody. Yeah, we see everybody, babies, children, adults, the senior citizens, everybody, people of with disabilities or anything. So for your appointments, we start making the appointments for the cleanings and whatnot at 2.5. And those appointments go up until you finish high school. Yeah, so if you go to sixth form, you're still under the program and you can come to us even if you finish up to fifth form, right? So for the 2.5, we advise parents, if you have any concerns, any questions about what's happening in your child's mouth before that time, don't be afraid to come to us. So don't feel like the clinic is only open to people 2.5 and up, you know? So come to us if there's an issue, we examine, we advise. And of course, we have our adults, where for the adults, it's more of a walk-in service, and we do extractions for them. I guess maybe they said that adults work in and they could go pay to get their teeth clean. I don't know. You know, so they could come for the extractions, the examinations, and that's what we do.
Okay, so in terms of the adults, you said, well, obviously, they probably said they're working, so they could go to pay.
Probably, I don't know if that's the reason. That's what I said.
That's
maybe.
what you assume. Okay, so it's just extractions for the adults. I know sometime in the past, there was a surgeon. I'm not sure if that still exists, or if you have to go to Trinidad for that, or if we have to pay for that kind of thing. If that is the case, I'm not sure if you would know, but is there anything in place to alleviate that situation in the near future?
We actually are working on that right now. We are putting things in place for us to have the oral surgeries taking place at the Scarborough Health Center. So we are working on it. We are aware of the issue, and we are working on it. I think sooner rather than later, hopefully before the end of the year, because I've already started taking patient names for the oral surgeon. So we're working on it.
Okay, that's great. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, and you spoke about the competition taking place primary school, you said, and secondary school.
Yeah.
What about the preschoolers?
Let me write that down, and we will include them next year.
Yeah, because I mean, you're talking about how they're always so eager and excited to be a part, to come to the dentist. So more than likely, they'll be excited to take part in the competitions.
I would love that. Like, I could just imagine whatever they do, it would just be so cute. So thank you for that. And definitely, I think we should try to look forward to seeing preschoolers next year doing something, whatever we decide that we want them to do next year.
Okay. So you spoke about oral health earlier on with Mr. Nurse. What basic tips would you give to the average person in terms of taking care of their teeth, just taking care of their mouth in general?
So I'd give the advice that I typically give to my patients every day, where I would tell them I start with the nighttime. And believe it or not, nighttime is actually the most critical time for your oral care. Like, of course, it's important otherwise, but at night, you need to make sure that you do everything that you're supposed to do. So I like to tell them, floss, then brush. And if you want to use mouthwash, find a fluoride mouthwash and you go to bed. You do not eat or drink anything after. Yeah, so you go into bed with a clean mouth, and at mornings you get up, you have your breakfast, and after breakfast we can do the floss, brush, mouthwash, and try to at least floss after every meal. I know it may be hard throughout the day to do it after lunch or while you're at work or school, but let's at least try, to get it done.
Okay. And before we wrap up, just tell the viewers one last time about the dental health fair put on by the Tobago Regional Health Authority under the theme Educate to Elevate.
All right, so again, we are having the dental fair on the 17th of November. We will be there from 10 a.m., maybe a little before if you can. I think the mall opens at 10 a.m. So you could come in 10 a.m., come see the performances of the winners of the competitions that we had. Come interact with the staff, get whatever information that we have to give out, to educate you, to elevate your oral care, to elevate the care of your body, because as I said, we're going to have the nutritionists and the nurses there talking to people also. So just come down, let's have a day, a very chill, a very relaxing day. Let's have some fun with the activities, and we are there.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Batiste, for coming and chatting with us this morning about oral health and the dental health fair put on by the Tobago Regional Health Authority on the 17th of November at the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands, Tobago. Viewers, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be chatting with some persons from the Seventh-day Adventist mission. So remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Standard, and today we're launching High. It's our newest brand that Standard is launching, and it's where luxury meets affordability. We're very proud of this brand. It's taken some time to get the right collection in place, and we're also going to continue to improve on our collection as time goes by and we listen to our customers more. We've changed our suppliers for this collection to European suppliers, so you're going to get that European finish. We've been very pleased by some of the results that we've been seeing and response to it in the market, and we're so glad to bring it to Tobago and show Tobago what Standard could, grow with them as well.
It's not just about looking good or having materials that are easily cleaned or sustainable materials, because the important thing about this particular collection is that it is quality. It is meant to last, and it lives up to the Standard name about never beating on quality and price. This furniture particularly, especially our outdoor line, which ranges from fiberglass, plastic types of outdoor stools, outdoor chairs, even the outdoor furniture, it is built to last.
That's the importance with High, right? It's not only looking good, it's going to feature things that make your life easier, and it's not too damaging on the pocket. That's important for us.
This furniture fits the lifestyle of Tobago, of the Tobago customer, of the Tobago guest. It is the perfect type of furniture for you.
So your car break down.
Oh, no, not again.
And you're worried paying a wrecker could mean a pocket breakdown too. But when you're insured with Tatil, no stress.
Yes!
A Tattle motor policy has lots of benefits that protect your pocket, like free roadside assistance. That's free 24/7 every time, as many times as you need. Tattle, where people are people. A member of the Answer Macal Group.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
And we are back here on Tobago Updates, Youth Wednesday. Today we are joined with Miss Annette Lewis, Communication Director and Youth Director of the Tobago Mission of Seventh-day Adventist, and also Mr. Wilfred Devines, who is the Field Secretary for the Tobago Mission of Seventh-day Adventist. This morning they'll be telling us a little bit about our upcoming convention on Sabbath, 25th November 2023. They'll also be telling us a little bit about the Tobago Mission of SDA startup and how they progressed to conference status, of course. Right? So we'll start with a very simple question. Sir Devines has briefed me on it a bit, but I want him to tell our viewers. How did the Tobago Mission of SDA start? Could you tell us a little bit about the foundation of the mission?
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Nancy.
Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. Well, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, as you know, is a worldwide church. And in Trinidad and Tobago, we operated under what was called the South Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. The membership from Tobago was governed in Trinidad, St. Augustine to be exact. And as the work grew, it became necessary for us to improve on the administration. And so a group of laypersons and pastors got together and they started the process, the mission drive, as it were. And fast forward, in 2003, November 21st and 22nd, 2003, we had our first mission session. Prior to 2003, we had what was called a region, and it was headed by Pastor Martin Cunningham. The secretary was your humble servant, and of course, the treasurer was the late Miss Pamela Crooks. That happened for 2 years, and as I said, in 2003, we had our first mission session where directors were elected to serve. All right? And we served for 4 years initially. So every 4 years, we will have a mission session.
So what number is our convention on Saturday?
Oh, well, this will be our 20th anniversary as a mission. We started in 2003, so November this year will be 20 years since we have become a mission.
Okay. Right. So the body is in charge of the Adventist affairs of Tobago, right? What and who exactly is managed by this body, and could we have some insight into how it's done?
All right. Ms. Lewis might be able to help you, but let me just fast forward a little and say, Tobago is run or operated by the executive committee of the mission, all right? It includes laypersons, pastors, teachers, office staff, as the case may be. So Ms. Lewis will be able to tell us something.
So as Mr. Devines would have mentioned, the executive committee, they would be the overarching committee for the, operations for the mission. And then we have, as he would have mentioned, also directors. We also have the committee would oversee the running of our schools. And, we have 5 schools, 4 primary, 1 secondary. We also have the churches. It's 32, 34 churches. What are we at now?
We have 31 congregations. Well, Pastor or President would say 36 congregations.
Right,
all right?
yes.
Because we have organized churches and groups.
Yes.
So 36 in all.
So we have, is it the president that runs the mission, and then under him would be the directors, and then the committee?
Well, you have 3 administrators. You have Pastor Vishnu Prasad, who is the current president, and you have Pastor Martin Cunningham, who is the executive secretary, and Mrs. Karen Hosford Nero, she is the treasurer. And you have directors, and you have members of the executive committee, which would be persons from the various churches who serve on that governing body.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so the Tobago, we started off this interview with the introduction said the Tobago Mission of Seventh-day Adventists.
Yes.
Now it's the Tobago Seventh-day Adventist Conference. So could you tell us a little bit about this progress, the process of it all, and how did you come to be a conference?
Well, as any organization grows and develops, you want greater autonomy. By the way, this is not secession, right? You want greater autonomy. 20 years ago, we started, and the work has grown. And the higher organization, which is the Caribbean Union Conference, we made approaches to them and let them know, okay, we believe that the time has come that we should go to the next level. I may say that the current administrators of the mission, they are usually selected by the Caribbean Union Conference. But when we become a conference, the laity or the constituency of Tobago, the membership of Tobago, they have that opportunity to select all the leaders, the president, the secretary, the treasurer, the directors, the members of the executive committee.
Okay, and what was the reason for this change?
Well,
it's growth. Growth. Yes, I mean, growth is important for any and all organizations. So it's important that, when you have these kind of growth and development, that you move to a next level, you move to a next step. So this will be the reason for,
So growth, progress from being a mission to conference.
Yes.
Nice. How often is the inaugural session held? What difference will there be in comparison to the other inaugural sessions that we've had before?
This will be our first inaugural session. Well, yes,
for the conference.
Yeah, for the conference. But we would have had sessions every 4 years. Okay, so every 4 years. But this now is our first inaugural session because the status is changing from a mission to a conference.
Yeah. All right, so who exactly should we expect to be there? And are they different from the other sessions that you all would have had in the past, as this is the first inaugural session as compared to the other sessions had in the past?
But the other sessions we would have had in the past, as Mr. Devines would have said, is that we would already have had our president, our administration already in place. It would just be the election of the officers, the directors, for that would have taken place in previous sessions. But because now this one is the inaugural, because of the change in status, the constituency now has the opportunity now to elect its president, its executive secretary, its treasurer, and all the directors. So that is the difference right now to...
And at this session also, we will be having leaders from the higher organization, the Inter-American Division, headquarters in Miami. We'll have Dr. Ellie Henry, who is the president of the Inter-American Division. We'll also have Dr. Leonard Johnson, who is the executive secretary. He'll be there. Of course, we'll have the administrators from the Caribbean Union. We have our headquarters in Marval, Trinidad. Dr. Kern Tobias, Pastor Johnson Frederick. We also have Pastor Bertie Henry, along with other officials. We will be having people from the diaspora coming in. We have Mrs. Gracelyn King, from the Trinidad and Tobago Adventist American Association. We have Mr. Stephen Isaac, who is the president of Tobago Progressive Association, and other folks from Trinidad, of course, will be coming.
The diaspora is indeed large, very large.
Yes.
So we expect a very big number of the administration to be there, present at the inaugural session on Saturday. Could you tell us on Monday?
We start from Monday.
So, all right, so let's get into that. The when, the where, what time. You said that this part of the session will be held on Monday. So what days is the session expected to run? What times would they be started? And also, is the public invited to look at these sessions?
So it will start on Monday. Okay, we will start at 9 o'clock. We will have our opening ceremony exercises. Then we would then progress into the business part of the program, where you will see reports and presentations of reports for years of service given by the directors and the administration. And then we go into our evening program, where we will close off for the day. And then on Tuesday now, it would be the same again. We would have our opening program, we begin at 9, and then we go through. During this process, whilst this is going on, has been elected a committee, a nominating committee, who will begin the process of selecting, nominating persons to serve for the next quadrennial, for the next 4 years. So whilst the business meeting is going on, whilst the programming is going on, this will be taking place simultaneously as the reports from directors and administration is being presented.
Let me just jump in here and say that apart from the overseas delegate folks who will be coming in, the church is organized in such a way where you will have delegates, special representatives from the various congregations will be at the session, at the conference session. And they, along with the other folks, will be the ones who will be making the decisions, okay? The decision of the church is usually made by the membership. So a large church, we might have 2 delegates. A smaller church might have 1 delegate. So these delegates will be at the session from Monday, and they will be participating in the business session, as was mentioned by Mrs. Lewis. Also on Tuesday, they will be there. I need to mention that the Chief Secretary, Honorable Farley Augustine, will be at the session to declare the session officially open. All right, that will be on Monday. The Saturday or Sabbath program will be something of class.
Celebration.
Yes, celebration.
So there is a lot to look forward to in that week of events, of course. Yeah. Right. So as we're wrapping up, what impact do you all expect to have on the wider community in Tobago and, of course, the Adventist community?
Before I get to that, I want to let the membership know that we expect them to be at Shore Park Cultural Complex on Saturday, the 25th of November. Come as early as 7 o'clock. We'll be there. We have made arrangement for the membership to come out. We expect to have a grand time. We have a special program for the children. We are catering for at least 200 children. So parents, don't worry. We have a packed program for them.
Covered.
Yes.
So our churches
will be closed.
So all roads are leading to Shore Park.
Yes.
All churches closed. All roads leading to Shore Park Cultural Complex on Saturday, 25th of November 2023. And it starts at 9 a.m. on the dot.
Yes. 9 a.m. on the dot.
And it goes throughout the day. In the afternoon, we have a special program, musical, and we have the installation of the new officers, those who would have been elected during the session Monday and Tuesday. They will be installed. That program begins promptly at 3 o'clock. All right. You asked about the impact. With greater autonomy, we expect that we have to give greater service to the community of Tobago. Not just the church community, but the wider community.
All right. So that is what we have to look forward to from your conference on a whole.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have a lot to look forward to on the weekend.
Yes.
Of course, and during the week for the business sessions.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Mrs. Lewis, Communications Director and the Youth Director of the Tobago Mission of Seventh-day Adventist, or should I say Tobago Seventh-day Adventist Conference, and Sir Devine, Sir Wilfred Devines, the Field Secretary for the Tobago Seventh-day Adventist Conference. Thank you so much for being with us. For those of you just joining, this was our Youth Wednesdays on Tobago updates. We continue with Jerry McFarlane, who gives us On the Surface. So stay tuned. Beneath the Surface, my apologies, with Jerry McFarlane and Joel Sampson, right? So we encourage you to stay tuned and share the live, share the live, share the live.
It really will give the farmers of Tobago an opportunity for them to have their produce on display, right? So the people in Tobago will actually see what the farmers have been doing so far, right? So today is a great day for the farmers to have their produce out in the open so that the general public can come and view at it and if possible purchase.
Specialize in doing wooden items, and like we have the cordless blender, you know, the wooden one, the wire one, and we have all the wooden items like the dabbler. For those big outside cooking, we have the big wooden spoons. So I specialize in doing wooden items.
Well, we have okra, we have some lovely pumpkin, as you could see, as they mentioned, golden ray. We have coconut water both in the shell and in the bottle. We have juice also, as you could see, pomegranate, plus the guava, mixed with pumpkin. We have plantain plus banana, and we have avocado plus plantain that you could plant. It will be just now.
So you are the farmer?
I'm the farmer.
You learn so much about farming. How long have you been farming?
Well, I can at least say from the time I know myself. It's because I grew up with my grandmother, and this is where she put me to involve in agriculture. And like that is in my genes, because sometimes when I'm sleeping in the night, it's like I only seen for juice. So I really love it.
I didn't know about it. I just was passing by and somebody introduced me to it, and I came in and look, I get cassava, dashi, and all these kind of things to go home and make a little soup. You know, so I appreciate what I see taking place. I see that the agricultural development is really developing in Tobago. And I would like to see much more of this taking place, and I like to see it extend worldwide.
What juice tasting?
Very good. This is guava. It's guava juice.
We accompany people from the womb to the tomb with information that guides you through life. So if you are interested in starting your family, we have relationship books, including one like this one, The Language of Love. So you will learn how to communicate generally, but especially within your family relationship. We have on health, we have on child rearing. The farmers market gives us an opportunity to help folks to know how to use the things that they buy for good health. So that is why we are here.
Everything here is locally grown, organically grown, and if it's not grown, then it's produced, the byproducts of that which we grow from the soil.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Welcome the Standard, and today we're launching High. It's our newest brand that Standard is launching, and it's where luxury meets affordability. We're very proud of this brand. It's taken some time to get the right collection in place, and we're also going to continue to improve on our collection as time goes by and we listen to our customers more. We've changed our suppliers for this collection to European suppliers, so you're going to get that European finish. We've been very pleased by some of the results that we've been seeing in terms and response to it in the market, and we're so glad to bring it to Tobago and show Tobago what Standard could, grow with them as well.
It's not just about looking good or having materials that are easily cleaned or sustainable materials, because the important thing about this particular collection is that it is quality. It is meant to last, and it lives up to the Standard name about never beating on quality and price. This furniture particularly, especially our outdoor line, which ranges from fiberglass, plastic types of outdoor stools, outdoor chairs, even the outdoor furniture, it is built to last.
That's the importance with High, right? It's not only looking good, it's going to feature things that make your life easier, and it's not too damaging on the pocket. That's important for us.
This furniture fits the lifestyle of Tobago, of the Tobago customer, of the Tobago guest. It is the perfect type of furniture for you.
Yes, be careful.
Honey, I feel I'm going to start to cook, yes, because these children must be hungry now. Right? Okay.
Oh, shucks. Oh. These plugs, oh my gosh.
Hey, Rizak, hey, come from there. Come from there.
What's going on in here?
Oh God, I should have buy boy. What would you do if this happened to you? Dial 990 in case of fire emergencies, and always have a serviceable fire extinguisher ready and available at all times.
Wait, I don't even have suit and thing for this wedding. Why getting them things?
Well, the port right over there.
Alright, thanks.
The Port Mall, where the varieties are large from your favorite stores, from restaurants to salons and from clothing stores to jewelry stores, located at Sangsas Hill, Scarborough, Tobago. Telephone number is 868-334-6589.
Wow. I didn't expect to see you here. Look good.
Thanks. It's all because of you and Port Mall. But here now, I'm going to have with it. You want to join me?
Yeah, that's okay.
Alright.
Beat the rush and come on down to the Port Mall.
morning, viewers. Welcome to Beneath the Surface. I'm your host, Jerry McFarlane. It's always a pleasure to be on this program as we look at interviewing all members of the Tobago House of Assembly on the government side and on the opposition side, the minority leader, we should say, and all the councillors, including the presiding officer. This morning, we continue this program. Yesterday, we had Megan Morrison. And today we have the pleasure, I personally have the personal pleasure of interviewing Joel Nutty Sampson. Joel, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. McFarlane.
Yeah, good to be here with you and so on. I mean, I see you really developing your space and become the kind of person that you are today. I know it has not been easy, especially with this kind of environment we live in here in the country or worldwide. You know, it really gives me a great pleasure to have this little chat with you here this morning. And congratulations on all your achievement.
Much thanks.
First, we're going to start with, what's your responsibility in the Tobago House of Assembly?
Well, firstly, I have multiple portfolios. So I am the assemblyman for Bonaccord Crown Point. I'm also the assistant secretary at the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. And I'm also the deputy presiding officer of the legislature.
And you feel you handle those areas quite well and satisfactorily?
Yes,
so far?
Yeah, I performed to the best of my ability. So I think I'm doing a good job thus far.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, I had my usual rounds when I have these interviews. You know, we talk to people from the community or where you worked previously and so on. And you know, I was really not surprised with the kind of positive comments that we had so far. You know, especially talking about you and so on. But, you know, you remind me of, any people tell me what? You're reliable, dependable, you know, rooted in your community and so on. And I must ask, you know, I remember we had a guy, I can't remember if he was from Plymouth, but his name was, I can't remember his name, but they used to call him Man to Word. You can't say Man to Wood, you know, you have to say Man to Word. You know, and that means that when I was talking to him some years ago, I've not seen him for quite some time. I don't know if he passed. But he said his word is his bond. And that's why people used to call him that. Man to word. You know, because when he tell people he come in at a certain time, he does want to do that. And that happened since he was a little boy, you know, growing up. You know, and that's how people started calling him this thing. But, you know, we kind of not seeing that kind of thing in the communities or in the country, you know, where people are so dependable and reliable. And it's good to see you kind of following that part. And I must ask, where this started? Did it start in your growing up? Or tell us a little bit about your growing up years as a childhood, growing up. You grew up with grandparents also?
Well, my life, it's a kind of long story. But to make it short, I grew up in Milford Court, that's in a part in Bonaccord. I grew up there with my mom and siblings. And growing up the community back then, it was closely knit, you know, each one helped each other. So, you know, I grew up with that kind of assistive way. So if somebody needed something, I would go for it. I was like the go for. So come on, go in the shop for this, man. You know, I took pleasure in doing it. So that kind of molded me from then. That was the base, that was my foundation, and I grew with that, and that never departed from me. So now I am still the same person, even when I worked at Wassa, when I worked at the airport, when I did auditing at Mount Irving Bay Hotel. You could always rely on me, you know that I'll be there on time, I'll be getting my duties done, and you won't have any problems. So that has been in me from ever since.
But you were involved in any childhood pranks and that sort of thing, or levels of ill-discipline from time to time? Or
No, growing up in our time, in the 80s, you had to be disciplined. So if you did something on the other street, and the neighbor, those days, the neighbor could have put a licking on you. So you would get that licking. You dare not go home and complain, because if you go home and complain, you will get another licking when you reach home. So, you know, I think that also helped and shaped me and kept me to the person I am today. And that's something that we see is missing from community. Long time the neighbor could have disciplined a child. Now that can't happen. And we see how things often lead with that.
Yeah, the child cussing the neighbors now.
Yeah.
And so on, even fighting. You know. But your siblings and so on, you have other siblings and so on? Or you have siblings?
Yeah, I have other siblings.
And they like you and or generally?
I'm the baby. So they took care of me. I was spoiled by them. You know,
spoiled in a very disciplined manner.
In a disciplined manner.
Yeah. But I always wonder, you know, who's responsible. Everybody tell you he's very reliable, very punctual, you know, very credible kind of person and so on. And you can't say that about everybody in this place, you know, and it's really something that we should be proud of. So what about the community in Bon Accord? You, as a child or a teenager growing up, what are some of the things that you think help also to inspire you to make you the young man that you are?
And I think
in the community itself.
I think my involvement in sport, involvement in the church, which was very important. At the church, I participated in quiz competitions, which I won on a regular basis.
Which church is that?
That was the Canaan Church of the Nazarene. That's on Golden Grove Road. And then I am heavily involved in sport since then. I'm involved in sport still. I still find myself actively involved. I played in a TFA game last night and then went to the town hall meeting.
Which side?
I play for my comrade state side, Signal Hill United. You know, and I still coach. I do coaching. I've been coaching at Ball Blasters for the past 5 years. So I'm actively involved, and these things, I guess, helped and shaped me from them.
Were you never involved in the sea activities or the marine activities or also swimming?
I can't swim to save my life, so I've never ventured into those areas.
But you go to the beach from time to time, or you stay on the sand?
I go where I can stand in the water.
Yeah. So the sporting activity really helped a lot.
Yeah,
and people have gained a lot of respect for you. And you involved in coaching. What aspect? The same football? Or?
Yeah, soccer coach.
How it feels as a coach, you know, and sometimes from a community and so on, where you had so much legends in that Bon Accord community, and Terry, or what do you call the guy?
Terry Williams.
Terry Williams and these people. Well, you feel good, you know, coaching and you have these stalwarts around you in the community. That serves as to inspire you as well? I mean...
I was inspired by these gentlemen. The men that did it before, because they played and they did not just keep their talent and their knowledge, they passed it on to us. So I am just following in that trend, you know, that I can pass on whatever I've learned to impact someone else's life. You know, and I take pride, I enjoy doing it. When there are times when I'm out and I hear, coach, and the little ones, 4 or 5 years old, they recognize me because that relationship, you know, they enjoy coming to training, they have fun, they have a good time, and they learn.
You know, I remember in my young days, and I'm much older than you are, but when you hear the football team from Bon Accord, I think they call it Somerset, many years ago, and Dazzlers from Plymouth, they came before Stokely Vale. When you hear Somerset and Dazzlers play, that's the biggest crowd in Plymouth, you know. They come out because they always this big community rivalry between Plymouth and Dazzlers and Somerset in that time. But you know, there's always these nice community rivalries and this community thing. But there was a time when there was fighting between communities, you know. You know, Blackrock and Plymouth had their problems and so on, until Plymouth gave Blackrock, for example, steel band to start their Katzenjammer band many years ago, before I was born, I think. But as we go on, you see any major changes or levels of discipline in the community or your community, the Bon Accord community, that you feel that you might want to identify?
Well,
any challenges also in maybe your community?
Well, there's no perfect community, Mr. McFarlane. We know there's nothing perfect. You know, you can try to achieve or strive for greatness, but there'll always be some downfalls, some shortcomings in some areas. You know, I try to reach out to the young people in my community, try to encourage them, try to tell them, hey, take pattern from my life, look at how my life was and look at where I am now, and, you know, try to develop in that way. You know, you had the little ones who like to be on the block, but they don't tend to give any trouble or anything like that. You know, they just come, they gather. You know, it's their social gathering. That's their form of lime. They come together, you know, like any group, like a political group will come together. That's their thing. But they don't tend to give any trouble or anything of sorts. They try to keep it down. I tell them, I say, hey, everybody have their vice, but, you know, just conduct it in a mannerly way, you know. Don't do anything untoward or anything out in the open that might cause any problems or cause you to be dealt with by the police, you know. So they try to maintain that order and discipline, and we have a good relationship in the community. Our community is not bad.
A lot of these communities, and I'm sure Bon Accord is not excluded, where there is some, not just break-ins, but sometimes murder, I remember we had a murder recently, not close to down there. But the break-ins, is becoming kind of prevalent in a lot of these communities. Bonaccord is not immune to that, of fighting and stabbing and that kind of thing. What do you seem to be responsible for that sort of behavior in general, some of these communities on the island? As somebody who grew up more positive and more disciplined, what you might see some particular thing in the community that people gravitate to that may cause them to have this way of ill discipline, no patience, somebody matches shoe, you want to give them a bottle and that kind of thing, What you think, in your view, might have led to this kind of eruption of this ill discipline in some of these communities?
Well, surprisingly that you would ask, because recently I had this conversation with someone, and it all leads down to the music. We think the music has a great influence on persons doing what they do now. Back in the days, we would listen to these music, we would dance, we would have fun, a good time, but we would not follow what the music said. Nowadays, the young people are getting carried away by the music. Now, they have the Trinidad and the Six Outside and these things. So I think
those are some of the names of the song?
Yeah, so the groups, the Trinidad music and all these things. So some of the young persons are getting carried away by that. And only when reality strikes, when they end up in trouble, then they realize, hey, that's just music these guys making and we just follow through with it. And I think that's causing some of the issues that we are having within the communities today. Some of the young persons as well, they want fast money. So back in our days, we would go out and work hard, we'll grind, we'll go on a construction site as a laborer, get paid $50 a day. And we'd be happy because, you're getting something, half a loaf is better than no loaf. But the young persons nowadays, they don't want to toil and grind and work. They just want it fast and easy by any means. And the music is sort of influenced that.
But we used to have music long time, and music was very inspiring. Up to recently, I was looking at Wildfire, a Wildfire song. That must be before your time. And, when I reflect on it and the positive things about these people in those days, Oliver Tumpy Chapman, if I remember his name quite well. I mean, the quality of the music, the song, the delivery, the message in the music, some very philosophical and so on. But, it promotes a kind of love and compassion and positivity, I see much of that, maybe not enough of that these days.
You're not hearing that these days.
And I'm wondering what is in this gun music. I understand there's some particular song where you have to pull out your gun or something like that and do strippiness. So that, where that came from? That originated here or it came from outside or something?
That came from outside and we just, follow the pattern. I even listened to that song once upon a time and the man sang, the song said, fully dance. And
fully
dance. I only listen to the lyrics and the content. Some of them, they get carried away by the music. And I think that's one of our major problems. As you rightfully said, the music back in the days had a positive impact, positive influence, but we're not getting that now.
And the prevalence of guns in these communities. I mean, I'm sorry to be talking about all these things in the community before we get to some of the other issues. But it shows what grounds people, where they came from, where you came from, and how things are changing in some of these communities. And sometimes, we really take a deep look, beneath the surface, to get to some of these things. And you're just reminding me of the music. And I find that is an interesting area. I never really studied that before. And but you see, there's a lack of leadership or mentoring in some of these communities.
Yeah, there is, but there are times that persons try, we would try, but they say you can lead a donkey to the water, you can't force it to drink. So sometimes we put certain things out. We're having this mentorship program or we're having this, and the young people, they won't show up. They're not interested in some things. In our days, we used to grasp at the opportunity. When there is something like this coming up, you could benefit, you could learn something from it. And I guess sometimes they say the last good generation came from the 80s. It's not a good statement to make because you don't want the generations after. But when you look at it sometimes and you analyze, the generation now, they don't seem to be interested in these things. Technology has come into play and that has changed the whole aspect of everything. So the phone, this is what everybody gravitates to now. and that makes it leads to a lot of key critical decisions. You know, so everything is at your fingertip. So they just go onto the internet.
And the technology provides for all kind of things. It provides for good buy, upbringing, and you know, good communication and effective and positive communication. And we just choose the bad.
Yeah.
You know?
There's so much positive, but as you say, we choose the negative.
Okay, I'm thinking we're going to go for a break now. And when we come back, we continue chatting with Notsi here, Joel Notsi Sampson. When we return, and we start back by talking about your stint at WhatsApp.
Sure.
Okay, we go for the break.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Want to improve your child's comprehension and creative writing skills in record time for SEA? Calling Preps 3s, 4s, and 5s. Sundays only. 3-hour sessions of individual attention with a qualified, trained, experienced teacher of over 35 years and an SEA examiner. Call 266-5952 or 222 for further information. Ask for Ingrid. Excellent results all the time.
You know, who would I ever believe, Jessica could take care of a child,
I know, right? I'm a kinship foster parent to my nephew Malik.
Papa, you remind me of my grandmother, you know, when she used to take care of my cousins.
If I didn't step in, I don't know where he would have ended up. Plus, I get support from Children's Authority, training, and counseling.
But Jessica, you're not married?
That doesn't matter. Once you have a safe home and you're related to the child, you're good.
So they just gave money to do this?
Yeah, they do give me some money.
So, Auntie, you can buy all my game for me?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Malik, but that money's to take care of you. Okay, smubble up, yes.
I will not try. Mommy, you can buy.
No.
Wait, I didn't even finish my sentence.
About Lamborghini, you can get lamb stew for lunch.
Auntie Jessica could only come when you come in, because all them does do is talk people business.
Malachi, I'm only going on the bed.
But mommy, the boy don't even live here.
Yeah, go to your bunkers.
What? Bunkers? Where's that?
I think I'm getting pretty good at this.
Yes, we're back, folks. This is Beneath the Surface, and chatting with Notsi, Joel Sampson. And, you know, we were chatting in the break, you know, you were telling me about this experience you had where you saw this family coming from abroad and having a discussion with them and so on, what you found out?
Well, what I found out is that they don't encourage their children in too much of technology. So at the restaurant while there, each of them were reading a book.
At a restaurant?
At a restaurant. I found that quite interesting. And he said that they grew up reading books. So he wanted his children to do the same. And it's quite something that you don't really see, because normally you'd see families, everybody on their phones. So it was something that really stood out to me.
Yeah. And another thing we think is the level of guns, the availability of guns in all these communities is just amazing. It's so easy to get. Not a long time you had to beg and plead for a man to get a gun or something, I mean, guns is like you're going to buy a chubby or something in the shop. It's so readily available, and I don't know what could be done to stem this tide of everybody need a gun and feel so powerful and big when you have this gun. But something had to be done. We just had to continue trying and educate and train our children. And sometimes we're not the best example for children, because maybe the children learn from the parents some of the things that they're doing now, what appears.
So we just have to set a good example for them, that's all.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about WASA. Your stint as WASA. There is where I met you really and see the kind of work that you were doing and so on. But how was your stint at WASA? How you feel working for a company or worked for a company, a public utility company, and providing an essential service?
That was a wonderful experience. That is what helped mold me as well. That's part of the molding, that's part of my work ethic that I continue along with today. Even there are times as an assemblyman, I have passed leaks on the roadside and I fix them. Something simple, I come out and do it, because that's just me, That service I provided, ensuring that...
those domestic connections and so on?
Yeah.
You're not talking about going and digging up road?
No, recently where I reside, there was a leak and I dug it out and repaired it. That's me. I wouldn't see the water wasting. If something I can do, I can handle, I just fix it.
But I often wonder, often wonder that, groups or agents or community groups, plumbers or skilled people could just do some of these minor repairs in some of these communities, and don't wait until WASA come whenever they come to do these kind of repairs. If you could do it in a community, you just do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys cutlassing or wacking on the side of the road, a line comes up and it get broken, so all this water spraying, and all it is a little, I don't say a little connection, but a connection that's to connect it and stop the leak. So I feel that sometimes the community can help. So the working in WASA really helped move you and mold you.
Yeah, that work ethic that I possess.
And you had good supervision and so on from time to time?
Yeah, good supervision. There was time I acted in the position of supervisor and these things, so, and it was enjoyable. You got the best out of the workers. Same thing in my portfolio now at the Division of Infrastructure. Where I'm responsible for URP. So, that kind of relationship you build with the workers, Once your workers are comfortable, you get the best out of them.
Definitely. But as a skilled worker or supervisor or employee of WASA, how you feel when you repair a leak on whether it's a transmission line or other line? You dig up the road, you repair this leak, and while they open back the pressure, as soon as you open back the pressure, it leaks and bursts, rupture. Same way. How you feel when these things happen in WASA?
Well, sometimes when that happens, it's because most times there's another leak close by that you didn't capture while sorting out the first one. Sometimes the material, you get some inferior materials that can't withstand
to replace
pressure.
it?
Yeah, that can't stand the pressure. So, sometimes you get that from time to time, but not all the time. But it's the joy and pleasure of going back in and rectifying the problem,
Sometimes you have to take out the whole length of pipe?
Yeah, take out the whole length, sometimes 2 lengths of pipe to just ensure that the service is done and persons get back their water online. Because, as they get water in the line, they call it.
Yeah, that used to be very embarrassing to me and the people. And I see WASA men get cussed for that, Yeah, when they come back a second or a third time to fix the same leak or a similar position, after you get so much eruption and disruption of the traffic and then the big hole and trench, only leaving the road and that kind of thing, I see men get real cuss and thing for that. But what is happening at WASA now in terms of reform or transformation, as the minister say? Do you like the approach that is being taken to deal with that?
Well, to be honest, these days I don't really get into WASA and their affairs. I have bigger fish to fry. I have the island of Tobago to deal with and the infrastructure. And WASA cause some of these woes. So I try to focus on that and not tend to focus on what is going on there.
Beautiful. And that makes us come to the thing at your responsibilities in the THA. How you deal with your URP is one of your responsibilities?
Yeah, that's my main responsibility.
URP?
URP.
And what are some of the things that you pursue at URP, or what are some of your achievements so far?
Well, if you look now, URP is the gateway to heaven. When you
Is the
look
gateway
at,
to heaven?
Yeah, when you look at it, it's URP. We have been doing a lot of good work. You know, I must commend the workers at URP. I must thank them for their support and their work ethic, their drive, you know. They're inspired now. Because when I was given that responsibility, the first thing I did is try to understand what is URP, what they do, how they function. Look at their remuneration packages and see, you know, and the first thing I found, persons were working for $79 a day, skilled persons. Persons didn't have holidays, sick leave, maternity leave, none of these were afforded to them.
Really?
So persons were just working.
But they were working regularly?
Regularly.
Unbroken?
Unbroken. So if you didn't come to work, unfortunately, you won't get paid for that day. And coming from WASA, where I was part of the union, I was the president of the daily rated WASA Tobago branch for 9 years. You know, I got down into some union skills, and we, as the THA,
so you rectified the inequality with respect to remuneration?
Exactly, and we are policymakers at the THA, so I decided this is what we're going to give them some sort of redress, give them an increase, implement holidays and all these things. And recently you'll have seen persons from URP going on their first paid vacation leave. You know, and that is something that we
How many employees you have in URP?
Well, currently we have about 1,400 in the daily rated cadre and about 55 in the monthly paid. And these range from different teams. So we have the concrete workshop, the woodworking shop, we have the agriculture sector, we have the cleaning program, you know, we have the social intervention program. So this is like if someone has the material but can't afford the labor, we would provide the labor from mason to carpenter, electrician, plumber, the full 9 yards. So there are different teams that conduct various works throughout the day. And they have been working pretty well, and I must commend them. You know, if you look at the boardwalk in town, we have been doing some work there, so it's starting to look good. That's the work of the URP in collaboration with a few
What you did
other
at the
persons.
boardwalk?
Well, we did some rehabilitation work. So you
take up some of the wood and just
replace them, power wash, put some new benches, put some tables that persons can have some entertainment. There are draft tables there now. You see some signs to the background. We have some solar lights, and then we have to stain the boardwalk. So, you know, when you spend money for something, Mr. McFarlane, you have to maintain it. And we are there taking care of those things, the needs of the
And the workers are told that they have to maintain it, or you have to come and remind them that you have to maintain it?
No, we don't have to remind them. The workers, the work ethic of URP has raised, the standard has raised, the bar has been lifted. You know, they were here and now they are here. Because, you see, as I said, relationships, how you treat with workers. And just that simple increase, that simple addition of things that they didn't receive before, they are willing to go the extra mile, and I continue to applaud them. I will always applaud them for their efforts, and I want the whole of URP to know that you are appreciated.
Yeah, that's a very good move. So things like, I know there's a guy in Plymouth in particular, 2 legs amputated, and he's under some real pressure. And the place he lives in is kind of small. He can't even move around there in a wheelchair and so on. A special case like that, can URP intervene and just maybe extend the house, fix the flooring, or something like that?
Yeah, we have in those cases, we have the programs to deal with those needs, whereby we can provide some material and assistance. In special cases, we would provide some material like that, for instance.
Actually, not just providing material, but actually
do it as well. You know, so there are some special needs cases that we would look into and that we would treat with.
Well, that is very good. I must tell Zurisha or Ms. Hackett to talk to you about it, because I think that is in her constituency and so on. But, you know, there are some other special cases like that. A case in Gulen Lane, and that is, oh gosh, that is Zurisha thing again, constituency, where people they're trying their best in the community to help to build something for them, because the house that they were living literally fell apart. And I think it's Golden Lane. And
that's my colleague, that's my very good friend, Miss Akich. She's the one that encouraged me into the politics. So, we always live. So, that's something that could be.
Well, she knows the person quite well, so I don't need to call the person name and that sort of thing. And I remind her about the one in Golden Lane as well, where these people in literally abject poverty and the situation is real bad. And if people don't talk to me about these things, I will believe that level of, poverty, where you just can't help yourself, or all kind of health reasons or domestic issues and so on. You're just living in this kind of day-to-day. Some children they can't get transfer from Goodwood to come back down to town and so on. That itself is a pressure on the parents. Some of them not going to school, even though you might have some transport taking it from here to town, sometimes you miss it and so on. And the whole thing, you have to get up very early if you're going to a school like Goodwood or so, So these special cases, I feel must make a special effort must be considered to bring the children closer to a secondary school where they could attend, or primary school. One of the same people from Golden Lane, the house break down, so they had to go and live with some auntie down in Bonaccord, and the school is in Golden Lane. They can't come to Golden Lane because they have no house to go to.
Yes, provision could be made. These are things that we would look into. And
and so Ms. Sackett know about those cases. I'm not too sure about the one in Golden Lane. So these are some of the things that you do as URP. What are some of the special things that you're proud of coming from URP?
Well, I'm extremely proud of the furniture workshop. They have been doing some excellent work.
What you do with the furniture?
Well,
people just take them and carry them home?
No. You can purchase. You can come and purchase. And what we are going to do soon, you'll see a catalog out. So persons can see what we have to offer, and they can make their orders, make their payments, and get these items. Currently, we are just finishing up some benches and tables and stuff for the schools program. Which is it was a lot, but they are almost there at the finish line, and they have been working extremely well in getting this done. We also provide caskets at affordable prices. So we've been doing a lot. I'm extremely proud of that area in URP.
Remind me of my days when I was an assemblyman, and a lot of the schools were complaining about no furniture. They had no money to buy the furniture, and we took all the furniture, and I got a truck from, I think it's agriculture, where I was secretary. He said, well, listen, go and load up them trucks. I think the schools were Scarborough, I see, Plymouth, Bethesda, Blackrock. I think a school in Bonaccord was also benefiting from that program. I talked to the man at URP then. I said, listen, you see them old bench and thing? We had to find a way to strengthen them and send them back to the school. And the supervisor then, I think it's Niles or something was his name. And he really make a perfect job at this thing. Show the THE that they don't have to depend on bringing furniture from Trinidad or this kind of crap. And they rebuild all those desks using some of the material what was old, they just got new material and just things.
And we have to go away from that, always dependent on Trinidad.
That a long time. That was clearly demonstrated by the entire assembly, which I told them what I did.
That's the direction we have to go in.
That's the direction you have to go. Go to every school and say, and even more than that, you could be in a position to mobilize the carpenters and so on in the community and let them be involved as a thing that they're giving back to their community. They go and just repair a thing. You don't have to call a plumber from works to come and fix up leaking pipe or leaking toilet and so on. People from the community, assembly people must get these little groups together, to do this kind of volunteer work or giving back to the community, as we now call it.
Exactly.
So do this kind of thing. We can't depend on doing everything. You're waiting on assemblyman or assemblywoman to do this or THA to do something like that. Find ways of doing this.
We need to be self-sustainable. We need to
inspire the community to get involved in looking out. A little leak on a galvanized was in which school? Must be better, I think, some years ago. Waiting for long. I said, the community people can do that. So change the galvanize, somebody sponsor the galvanize and they put it back on in the school, and get things going instead of sitting down there waiting and complaining. You know, people have to be more proactive in their community. And in the assembly, you know, people have to be more responsive and reliable and just doing things quick what they have to do so that the country and the activity or the area that you're doing it for could move on, you know, with less complication and make teaching and learning and experience in the community much more interesting, you know. So those are the areas. And yeah, the presiding officer position.
Deputy presiding.
Yeah. How you make out with that? Is it a big challenge doing it from time to time? You serve as presiding officer quite a few times.
There's no challenge.
Huh?
There's no challenge. When I go into that chair, I command the respect of all my colleagues on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I go in there, I don't show any favor to anyone. I deal with the situation according and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I show respect and I gain respect from my colleagues.
Mm-hmm. But, and I should ask the question, as an assemblyman and including the position of presiding officer, you all went through particular training and familiarizing yourself with, you know, the act and procedures and standing orders and this sort of thing, particularly with the presiding officers.
Yeah, we have training from time to time. So we went to Parliament on a couple of occasions, had training, then they came across and we had some training.
Oh, really? Good.
And then we've been to a couple Commonwealth Association, Parliamentary Association conferences. So, you know, you gain more experience, you know, you meet different persons from different walks of life, you understand different standing orders, how they operate and work. So, you know, you gain a lot of knowledge through that. So it's easy now, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But tell me about any specific challenge you had at all in the house when you presided?
Not really, you know.
Everything went pretty smooth.
Went pretty smooth, you know.
I see from time to time, even the substantive presiding officer sometimes had to pull up even members of the government side, you know, from time to time. I think as one time she had Chief Secretary apologize or something like that.
Yeah, I command the house very well. I get that respect from them. They know from the time I hit that chair, no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
No smiling, no laughing matter. So persons do what they have to do and conduct themselves in an orderly manner.
And they're quite familiar with the standing orders and such things.
Exactly. So once I make mention of that, we follow to suit.
Yeah. And generally with the public service, well, you are with URP, but you're happy with the level of public service support to members of the Assembly? From time to time, you hear a secretary and an administrator or some secretary or assistant has some issue with some aspect of the public service in the operation or trying to get things done. How you think there should be some way in which these things could be settled amicably, where the public servants could understand their role and their responsibility to provide support and advice to the politicians or the assemblymen, if you ask me?
It's simple. All we have to do is have continued training programs, you know, to enlighten persons about their roles and their responsibilities, you know. Sometimes in every organization, you know, persons may have different ideas because we're coming from different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
But once we meet and we have these trainings, we have discussions and discourse, these things can be ironed out and there should be less problems going forward.
Mm-hmm. So you think more training program? People should be more exposed to what is happening and the law.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. What do you make out with people with when URP, for example, people, I don't know, but anything like that, but sometimes in the public service, you find that like a URP worker may say, listen, I'm taking this material, I want to make some furniture for my personal use. How do you deal with that sort of thing, if it ever came up?
No, well, since I've been there, we've not had those issues or any of these things, per se, not that I know of. You know, persons in URP do what they have to do. They are generally happy at the moment. You know, they're working with a swagger, they're walking with their heads high and their shoulders up now because of the benefits they have received recently. So we don't get those kind of problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody come to work, do what they have to do, and then they head back to their homes.
And you don't even have problems there, material go missing or that kind of thing?
No,
or people come in the night when nobody there?
No, we have security
or
there.
Or talk to a watchman or security and tell them.
We don't have those problems or issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have stock counts regularly, so we can account for every bit of material. So,
you sure?
Yeah, man. I have URP in a good gear, and the workers, they work alongside me. We have a good working relationship, so there's no problems. They say, Mr. Sampson, you have to ensure you look good, you let us look good, so we have to let you look good. So we don't have any problems there.
Tell me about the seedling and the agricultural aspect of the thing, how that works.
Well, that works out pretty well, you know. It's not as grand
Where you
as
do
we
your
like.
agriculture, you practice this thing.
Well, we have some at Blemen and some further up in the countryside, Louisdor. But what happened? We are trying to transform the agriculture sector. So recently I had some conversation with the Secretary of Agriculture. We are trying to do a MOU between us so that we can improve on that sector. So we can do some more grand farming. So utilize some of the URP workers in the agriculture sector. So for instance, if someone decides that, hey, well, I want to go and do some farming after my working hours in URP, we will put an arrangement in place so that this could help. So it could kind of bring the level of the URP agriculture up to our standard. So these persons
But
will come back
after you work, you go in and work URP, I don't understand.
No, after you finish at URP, you work in the day. You could probably fall in with some of the farmers, your choice.
Oh,
so you could get
private
that,
farmers.
Yeah, exactly. So you could get that knowledge and that experience, and you could come back and pass it on to your other colleagues. You know?
And that is all part of the seedling. Is a seedling program you call it?
Seedling program and stuff.
So you have a growth program from the seedling program.
Yes.
So you give the seedlings to farmers. Right. Where you don't have a plot that you farm or do some agriculture.
Right. So
there's nothing like that.
No. So you could utilize that that way. So we're trying to work that out. So that will be something that will be beneficial to all of the people.
Yeah. So that you could grow, you provide the seedlings and you give an opportunity to grow them out. Yeah. I suppose you could get small plants from tissue culture lab and so on. You have a relationship with them?
Well, I haven't really had that conversation with them, but the director who I liaise with, he does all these liaison with these places. So I will just have to call him and say, well, this is the situation, this is what we want done, and he will do that. You know, I don't micromanage. Persons have their responsibilities, and we have discussions every day, me and the director, as to how we're going about today, and that's it.
So that is one of the areas that is kind of new or more innovative and so on, and that you're bringing on stream, or you have it more structured.
You're just having it more structured so that the process is smooth, it's easy to access certain things.
And you never had a situation where from the seedlings you have produce that you might sell or give away or something like that?
Well, they have produce that they would sell. Sometimes
maybe vegetables, I suppose.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes if something is looking like it's, they say close to spoil, or maybe it's not that well, you could probably give them away instead of just have them instead of having wastage. So
you have special gangs that are allocated or assigned to the agricultural section.
There are different gangs assigned all over URP. So there's the agriculture gang, there's the furniture workshop, there's the concrete plant. So there are different gangs. So every aspect of URP has a gang assigned to them, a gang or two. The largest being that of the social intervention program, which I mentioned earlier, about the assisting with the labor and stuff like that. So everyone have their responsibility and their duties, and they carry it out on a daily basis without any problems.
How you deal with the situation of these workers? They work from 7 to 4 or 7 to 3? Or
there are various time frames that we would have met. So some work from 7 to 11, some from 7 to 9, some go from 7 to 1. Sometimes there are those that give us the extra pound based on the situation, based on the need. We would go all day until 3 in the afternoon. But it's the relationship that I have built with them, the almost 2 years that I've been there, and how I treat with them. So they go that extra mile for me, and I'm very thankful to them for that.
But if you set in a new standard and your approach to doing things with URP, what would justify somebody working from 7 to 9? Why you have to work from 7
No, it have different areas that work 7 to 9. So like the schools program, we have cleaners in the schools. So they go in from 7 to 9 and do the cleaning at the schools and stuff like that.
Oh, they clean at schools?
Yeah, so there are different areas. So not everyone works from 7 to 9. There are different sections that do that. Right? So we have the coastal cleanup crews as well. Sometimes they come from 6 to 9, and they get their job done.
They're just taking up the leaves and debris from the
and all the
beach
rubbish
side?
and stuff like that, ensuring that the coastline is cleaned. And sometimes there are some bamboo would come in, they would have that sorted out as well. So
And what they do? They burn some of this stuff there, or they just tote it away?
No, we tote them. We bag them and tote them away, the bamboo and stuff like that. We'll have the truck come in and we will load it and remove them from there.
Where's the other one? The concrete one. Where that is located? At Chopa?
Blemen.
Oh, Blemen?
Yeah.
At Blemen?
Yeah. That's
near to the batching plant, near to the...
Yeah. So that's there. So if you would like to buy some concrete furniture, you come in and select what you want.
Concrete furniture?
Like you have concrete benches, tables and stuff like that. So yeah, you just come in, select, you pay, and you know. So soon when the catalog comes out, you'll have a wide variety.
You never looked at using bamboo to do furniture or that sort of thing?
No, we haven't looked at that, but it's something we definitely can look into.
There was a program many years ago where we had some people trained in that area using the local bamboo to do little furniture and thing, cutting it, and you have a process that used to soak it in, I think is a particular chemical to prevent termites and that sort of thing, or mites from disintegrating the bamboo, and you had to cut the bamboo a particular moon phase, and all this sort of thing. That was started many years ago. I think people like Calypsonia and Appy were involved in benefiting from some other training many years ago, you know.
And that's something we can look into.
Yeah, and bamboo all over the place.
Yeah, that's something we can definitely look into.
You know, really taking over some of these places, some of the rivers to the back by me, Colon River, the bamboo actually growing into the part of the water, restricting it and so on. You know,
and the level of skill these guys possess, anything is possible with them.
Yeah, bamboo is a fantastic thing. But I think it's boric acid or something that they use to treat it first, you know, before before you use it.
That treatment is very important.
I think it's boric acid, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And some other thing that they mix it with, just soak it in it for a little while. Before you use it, or after you cut it into the pieces you want, you soak it into this thing. If I could be wrong, viewers, but I just thinking that boric acid was one of the things that they used to treat it, and there may be some other chemical I'm sure that you could use as well. And how you could bend it, you know, there's a certain way you could apply certain heat to it and have it bend, you know, and so on, and bring it to certain shapes where you could cut it, just like how they bend it for the Wali Naga and have the shape, you know, there's different ways of bending it and it don't break so easily, you know, different sort of treatment. It's one of the more versatile things that I've seen, trees or plants that you could use for this sort of thing. And cutting it at the right moon phase, where these old people see that is a big
that
thing.
is critical.
You know, and so that is an area I think you could look at, especially in times where other wood seem to be rotting. You see the kind of furniture coming from courts and these places is a kind of, what do you call that, gypsum kind of deteriorating thing.
That is why persons need to come to URP, visit the URP furniture workshop.
Yeah, all these things looking like natural wood, a shine plastic they put over it looking like wood and so on. But when you dig it out or drill it out, a little water flood in your kitchen, you see your whole thing start to lean and deteriorate and fall apart. You know, people have to tell themselves and be more aware of some of the material that they buy that look like proper wood or serious original material.
Inferior products.
Very inferior, and they look pretty and shine, you know. So people should be gravitating to what you're doing, and you should expand it and promote yourself as making these interesting products.
So when the catalog comes on stream, that will help to promote us more, and you know, so you can get that kind of advertisement that we have been looking for these years. So that catalog would help.
Yeah. One of the things I want to ask you before we end the program is that what are some of the things that you see in the THA as a member of the Assembly? Not particularly presiding officers, a deputy presiding officer as well, but as a member of the Assembly, what are some of the things you see in the administration that if you're given an opportunity to change, you will want to change?
Well, at present, there is nothing I would want to change. It's still early in the game. It's 22 months, and, you know, we've been doing our utmost best. You know, you can't please all the people all the time, you know, and we've been working together as a team. You know, we have that communication, we have that bond, So everything would fall into place. All the chips will fall in its right places at the right time. So there's nothing I would like to change at the moment. Everything is perfectly fine.
So you're happy with the level of public service support? You're happy with the level of funding you're getting? You're happy with the level of communication among secretaries and assistant secretaries? You're happy with those things generally?
We're happy with the communication. Yes, you have good communication. Funding is always an issue. We could always do with more funding, but you have to do with what you have until better comes along. But otherwise, there's nothing I would like to change. Everything is good. We have good working relationships, the secretaries and assistant secretaries. There's good camaraderie. I must pay some respect and send some love to my good colleague Megan Morrison, who was on yesterday.
She was dynamic way.
Yeah, so we have a good working relationship. There's nothing I would like to see change at this moment. We just have to continue pressing on to making Tobago the greatest little island ever.
And you can, so there's nothing in your book that you feel we should change right now. You don't think we should pursue greater autonomy as well, not even that?
Those things we would pursue. Those things will come in due time. But in terms of the work and in terms of how we get along and in terms of how we perform our functions and duties and how we collaborate, I won't change those things. But the other things, they will come over a period of time. Those things will flesh out, we'll meet, discuss those things, and then we'll move forward from there.
Given the amount, I know we touched it earlier, given the kind of crime that we see coming, that we see on this island, I mean, crime is a big thing in Trinidad and Tobago, the country. But in Tobago, there is creeping and increasing levels of this crime. What message you really have for the population generally? As somebody living in this community, you live on this island, you grew up here, what message you'll have or what you think we should do to have a hands-on approach to crime? Or to make this society more peaceful?
There's something they say, each one help one. We have to be our brother's keepers. So we have to go back to the community, neighborhood watch. You have to look out. I know back in the days, if you're not around, if you're not home, the neighbor would look out, look at your house to ensure that nothing untoward is going on. If they see anyone strange there, they would come out and, So we have to go back to that community spirit that was once synonymous with us. We have to have that love and unity. Look out for one another. So if you see like somebody looking to break into someone's house, call the police. Alert someone. Do something. We have to bring back the love, put down the guns, bring back the love and fun that we once had, make the communities great again, make this island great again, make this country great again. So we have to do it together. It's not just about the police service alone. It's about each of us performing that duty and that responsibility we have to ensure that we keep what we have and encourage persons to continue coming to this island and all these things. So, just have to go back to the way things used to be.
Yeah, and you're quite happy with the situation, how the police handle a lot of these things? You find the response time is good, generally?
I think their response time could always be better. Things could always be better, but it's a work in progress. There are always issues that need to be ironed out, issues that need to be straightened out. But as I said, with time, things will fall into place and everything will be how we want it to be.
And you think there's, in some communities, there's a lack of trust with the police and the community. What suggestions you might have to the police or the community to develop greater trust?
Well, persons just have to do what they have to do. The police has to have faster response time. If something occurs, you follow up with the issue, give persons feedback instead of persons just sitting and wondering what is going on. If I made this report, if I'm getting a feedback, we just have to collaborate together. Persons just have to believe and trust in the police that they will get their duties done. Ask questions, don't assume, and everything should be everything.
And police and people concerned sometimes that, the police presence may be not sufficient. You have police passing through, but at the same time, maybe passing through regularly, but at the same time, their glasses up, you can't even call them or so. But, I think there's a lot to be done on the police part and the community to have a greater gelling and understanding and promoting trust in the police service, and I think we should really get something done in that area. Both police and community and leaders in the community like yourself should try to bridge this this kind of unease and lack of confidence in the police service. We have to build that. You just can't sit back and say the police, or you don't have no confidence in the police. The community have to really work together with the police, and members of the assembly could play a critical role in having that achieved. Because we need everybody, and you said it earlier in the program, all hands have to be on deck.
Yeah.
Everybody have to work together. And then we come to the other thing of the school violence, schools. How we tell these children in the school system to be more disciplined. How we get them to do that. You see children beating up parents on the roadside after school and so on, in Trinidad in particular. Children bringing guns to school in one school, drug selling in school, and all of these things. Some of these things happening right here in Tobago.
Yeah, well, times have changed, and since they have taken away punishment from schools, they have taken out religious knowledge. Things have changed. In our days, we had religious knowledge, we had punishment, so certain things would not slide. Now, you can't do these things. See children looking to square up teachers, want to fight teachers, beating other students in the school, and then their parents coming in and joining, Lack of security present sometimes maybe at some of the schools. These are things that we have to improve on. There are things that we need to revisit that we have taken away and we should re-implement. So that should help some way or the other.
Are you being called to schools from time to time to try to inspire children to do any particular thing?
Well, in my district, I have two schools. I have the Bonaccord Primary School and the school for the deaf.
School for the deaf?
Yeah, the deaf and the dumb, the hearing impaired. That's a special needs school.
Oh, yes, that is on Bonaccord in True.
Right? So, from time to time, I would go through there, talk to the students, and try to inspire them. Give them a story, teach them about life, how things could be and how you can make it better. I even went back to my old high school once upon a time, that Signal Comprehensive. One of my former classmates she is now a teacher there, and I gave a lecture to her form class, the boys especially, and some of them were inspired, and they are all doing good now. So from time to time, once I get that opportunity to do that, I will do that.
And the quality of parenting in this Tobago here is a major problem. And a lot of criminologists and sociologists and all these people seem to be pointing in that direction, and that is where some of the big challenges are. You have any plan in your community to have like a parents reach out program, or where reach out for parents particularly, and see, I think we first have to find out what are some of the issues the parents have, why they can't have discipline as a key issue in the home, and treat with ill discipline where it arises.
That's something I can look into having. It didn't cross my mind before, to be honest, but it's a good idea.
All the reports you're getting about all this crime and that sort of thing, a lot of them seem to be zeroing on to some extent poor parenting or irresponsible parenting, or parents leaving their homes to go to wherever they're going, whether private business or other illicit activities or what, and they're leaving their children home, unsupervised or supervised by children. Many of them under the age of 15 being supervised by these persons, and we have to find a way to reach parents, in my view, and to see whether we can do something. Don't just wait again for these officials of the state to come in and intervene, especially when something happens. Then you're going to realize, well, things so hard for this household. The parents have to go out and find some work to do, whether it's day or night activity, and leaving the children undone. No matter how much you might want to tell them that, listen, the children authority could come in and charge you for dereliction of duty and all this sort of thing. We have to find a way to meet parents and advise them. Some of them will tell you plain and straight, well, I have no food, I ain't getting no pension, and getting no forms of income. I had to go out there and see what I could do. Somebody will tell us straight out about push a little weed or something or transport something for somebody, you know, and get a little change. It's a serious thing, you know.
Yeah.
Parenting in this community. Children bringing home shoes or clothes or wool and that.
Back in the days, we can do that. You can just come home with something. The first thing your parents would ask, where you get that? Take it back where you get it from.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, that ain't happening now. Those are the glorious days of the past. But
you have to try to work together as a community, work together as an assembly with the persons in the community, with the schools, with the churches, to try to bring back that kind of discipline and that unity it once had. Mm-hmm. You know, we just have to put God first in all things, and He will direct our path as to where we go with that and how we go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you imagine a child coming home recently. I was told in Tobago here, this big gold chain. Where you get that from? Parent even ask, oh, that look good, boy, that look good, I could get away. I heard the parents saying. I could use that sometime, but I had to go and, what they call that word that you were going to show off, blinging or something.
Ganzes.
Yeah. It's just amazing, boy, and I just feel that we have to do something about parenting. We have to do something about the children in the schools. And critically to all of this, we had to get to the homes and to see what is happening in some of these homes.
Most definitely.
Don't wait until something happens. Don't wait until you hear a house burned down with a child and parent inside it. And they have no amenities in the house. You have to use candles. You don't know if the candle fall down, burn up child and mother and parent. You know, and people around the community not even saying, listen, this is the abject state of poverty this household is living in. Can we not bring this to the attention of somebody? You know, we have to be each other's keeper. And we don't have to have this knee-jerk attitude. As soon as something happens, you come inside and then you start to cry shame on this one or this one. You mean, you couldn't do nothing, and you blame fire services for taking so long to come because the place catch a fire. You know, we have to do more personal intervention into families, into these communities, these homes in these communities, and see what is wrong. See how the grandparents are being treated home. See how many people go in and take the grandparents or parents' pension and just bling with it. And the poor pensioner whom they're starving can't get medical attention, you know, because they're studying that. They're just waiting until whatever date it is and they get a pension, you know. So I think these are some of the areas that the communities and assembly people and other church leaders and community leaders have to play a role in working seriously with their communities, you know. Any closing comments you want to make as we leave?
Well, before we leave, you know, I just want to continue to thank the electoral district of Bonaccord Crown Point for having that confidence in me and selecting me to lead them and to represent them, which I will indeed continue to serve to the best of my ability. You know, thanks to all my colleagues in the assembly for their continued support. I want to thank the workers at the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development for their continued support and their work ethic since I have been there. You know, and just encourage persons in this space, work with us. We are new, we are young, but we are trying. We are getting it done bit by bit. So work with us as we strive to make this island the greatest little island on the planet.
I hear you thank the secretary, or I did not hear you? I mean,
yeah, I made mention all the colleagues, so he's included in that.
All right, okay.
You know, he's included in that. Secretary James, he's included in that. You know, we have a good working relationship. And,
and your administrator as well?
Yeah, we work along.
Who's the administrator down there?
Currently, we have Mr. Carl Murray.
Carl Murray? Oh, Carl. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Could be a dynamic fellow when you're ready, you know. Yeah, and full, a very resourceful guy. But I want you to pay some attention to a thing that I talked to you, something I spoke to you about quite recently. The place at Bonaccord.
Yeah.
Near to the Gibson Jetty.
You're going to pay some attention to that.
Yeah, really need to clean up and think one of the division of the THU want to help us with refurbishing the building. And so
I try my best from time to time to ensure areas are clean in the area. You know, we have to just encourage persons to stop the dumping and try to be a bit more clean in this space.
Yeah. And of course, the situation in Plymouth, which Ms. Sackett knows about.
Yeah, so I'll make some contact with her and find out about that individual.
Okay, my friend, thank you very much.
No problem.
Always happy and proud to have you and to chat with you privately and otherwise, you know, and I'm really proud of the level of seriousness that you take your responsibility and the level of discipline, and almost everybody I talked to could talk about your reliability and dependability and the level of competence which you try to reach in doing everything that you do. General comments. I'm proud of you for that. And
thankful.
Continue to do your best. Keep God close.
Always.
Yeah.
Will do, man.
Folks, this before I end the program this morning, I want to remind you that tomorrow we'll have Niall George, the representative for BlackRock. BlackRock, where boy? All right. So Niall George will be on the program tomorrow, Assistant Secretary in one of those divisions. Oh yes, Assistant Secretary for Settlement and Public Utilities and Rural Development. Plymouth BlackRock, Assemblyman for Plymouth BlackRock. So tomorrow we have Niall George on the program Beneath the Surface right here at Tobago Updates. See you tomorrow, folks. Have a blessed day. And all you public servants who are working so hard, all of you have to travel to near and far. We're just appealing to you, public service, and the general public to show more interest in what you have to do. Take greater responsibility and seriousness to your responsibility wherever you have to work, people who you serve. Remember, you've been paid by taxpayers, and then we ought to have a new and even greater interest and enthusiasm in serving our people, the taxpayers of this country and this island, in a much better way. Okay, so see you tomorrow, God's willing, with another program. As I said, Niall George tomorrow on Tobago Updates, Beneath the Surface.